Hi, Virgo. 1 second. This is your home light security reading for the month of May for all Virgo signs. And whether you're sun, moon, or rising, that information right there shows you or tells you how to understand these readings. Because I'm going to get into a little bit of spirit, a little bit of tarot, a little bit of what the astrology has in store for you. I'll give you a whole bunch of that information. Now, Virgos, you are got a lot going on in the outer world. You got a lot going on in the outer world. You got a lot of judgment going on. And I don't think it's judgment from the outer world as much as in your head judgment. Excuse me. You might be being very inflexible. You might have some fear of failure going on or trying to keep up. But like I said, I don't really feel like it's necessarily that there's judgment going on from the outer world as much as you trying to make sure that you're showing the outer world what you're wanting it to see, or you're trying to work on the outer world or those relationships or, the job or the career or, whatever you're trying to bring into fruition. And I do feel like there's been a lot going on. So there's some frustration here or irritation. Maybe it hasn't been going in the flow that you're wanting it to, or it's been going too slow. But Spirit is saying, slow down, chill, woman. And I say it that way because it's also, I'm a Virgo rising. So I keep getting that from them for me personally. And that's why I'm like, chill, woman. They're saying, stop trying to be perfect about everything. All that is you being afraid of trying to overcome some kind of a fear, like a fear of failure, that's too much in the materialistic world, too much riding on it, when you know to trust in your intuition, trust in your manifestation, trust in your higher vibration, and realize that this is also a slow moving time. Even though this feels like it's doing anything but moving slow, technically, really, truly it is. Because you're kind of in a big mirror reflection, or a big reflection right now between the eclipses, and the energy really, I don't feel is going to be picking up until almost at the end of the month. I mean, to actually go into rapid movement. So keep your positivity high, keep your inner creativity high, keep your spirit high, and trust in it. Build the higher vibration, build the security. Stop holding on to anything that's heavy. Like Egyptian mythology. If you're weighing your heart against a feather, then you can't get into Egyptian heaven. Well, it's impossible for your heart to be not heavier than a feather. But the point here is, if you're holding on to things, it's just heavy. You're adding attachments, and you're adding, frustration and negativity that keeps you down, which then lowers the vibration, lowers the spirit, lowers the creativity and everything. So it's just, stop trying to hold on, stop trying to control, stop trying to adjust. Do what you have to do, yes, but and allow it to flow. When you allow it to flow, it's going to get so much lighter, and realize most likely at the end of the month, things are going to pick up and more rapid movements are going to start coming in. Is there anything else? Anything else you guys want to pitch in? Be willing to learn new things, new ways, because there's something new to learn, a new way to try it, or a new way to manifest it. Be willing to try something new. Because in honesty, It's a new divine wisdom that you're going to be finding, which is gonna help your spiritual connection and help you come out of some of that stubborn inflexibility. If you'll come off of that materialistic, three-dimensional mindset some. Because you really have nothing to fear. Anything else? And watch your personal judgment or family judgment. Just stay. I feel like what I'm being told is stay grounded, but not so grounded that, you're stuck in the three-dimensional. But I feel like saying, have roots and have wings. Let me grab the cards. And they're also saying for whoever it's for, not just let go of the heavy, but let go of the blame and the bitterness. Let go of the blame and the bitterness. It's just going to lower your vibration. What does Virgo need to hear for the month of May? What does Virgo? Thank you. Is there anything else here? I'll tell you in a second. What does Virgo need for the month of May? That one. Is that it? They're too close. I'll shuffle one more time. Nope. All right. Spirit also said, if you're having doubt over your path, partially stop it. That's just you getting into, the ego and that ear chatter, and it's lowering your creativity, it's lowering your creativity and back building your inflexibility, your stubbornness, and your pride. So you got to give it up to them, and you got to believe in it. You can't have control over everything. And the reason I laughed when I was shuffling, because like I said, I'm a Virgo rising, and I've been feeling it lately. You have the Hangman. Yeah, you're standing still. You're kind of standing still for a minute, but that's not bad. It just means you're learning something right now. Take the time and learn what it is they're trying to teach you. Your spirit guides, the world, the universe, however you want to see it. There's something here that is going to be valuable that you're learning. So slow down. Get it off your chest. Stop holding on to the anxiety, because what you're getting is truth, but you're also getting strife. So this is coming together, these two were. So the Hangman isn't being able to find the truth because of the strife. It's just you picking at your head. What I just got is Medusa energy. And for me, Medusa energy is, I've said it a million times if you've ever heard me before. For me, Medusa, I don't like Medusa's story because I feel like it was an injustice. And I feel like that was what happened to her was just downright dirty and ugly. And I'm like, but Medusa is Eris in astrology for me. And it's trouble, toil, strife, and holding on to it. Vampire syndrome. Can't let go of it. I've got to have control. I've got to pick at it, like picking at a scab, and you won't let it heal. Well, if you keep picking at a scab, you keep sucking on the blood like a vampire until there's none left. Any vampire story, you can't be sucking on. You can't be draining the blood when they're dead, because then that's bad for the vampire. That's what this strife card is. And if you stop it, the truth is going to come in, bringing the equal balance. And It's just get out of your head. I know Mercury retrograde just started, but I feel like this is more than Mercury retrograde. This is just all the energies coming in very hard. Coming in very hard, hitting kind of like below the belt. And it's just at this time, you've got to cut yourself a break. You got to give yourself the pat on the back. You got to give yourself the love that you deserve, the pampering time. And you got to bring your vibration up, because all you're doing is learning a valuable lesson that's going to eventually help you move forward. Now, and all that it's doing is slowing down the lesson. And I can't make this up. This card for me is creating your own reality. This is manifestation at its highest. You're creating your reality. If you don't like the reality you're seeing, change it and stop it. It came out with the Devil card. It says stop self-sabotaging, and then you'll get your happiness. Just slow down, stop self-sabotaging, and your happiness is on its way. It's just not coming as fast as you want it to, apparently. Yep. It's just not coming as fast as you want it to. This is feeling in your shit. So this is a good thing. It's just you're learning a valuable lesson. It's taking some time, and you just have to take a beat, more or less. It's going to be fine. Everything's moving forward. I don't feel bad about it at all. It's just, no. When I get into the astrology here in a second, you'll understand. Like I said, I don't care about this eclipse. The energy is not going to start feeling like it's actually got some movement. It just feels like stagnant electricity right now. And it'll get its movement near the end of the month. Now, let me explain. You have Mercury that just went retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter just moved into Aries. And even though that would make you think the energy is going to pick up, that's just lighting up the stagnant energy. All right? That's just kind of giving it more of an electric feeling, but it's not going anywhere. It's just abundance, knowledge, manifestation, all coming into the Aries sign, but it's not really moving. It's just building, back building, in fact. Then you have the eclipse that's taking place on the 16th. The sun is going to move into Gemini on the 20th, but on the 22nd, Mercury is going to move back into Taurus, taking that retrograde with it. On the 24th, Mars moves back into its ruler of Aries. Right there is when your energy is going to start picking up and moving, and it's going to move like a Mack truck, I feel. I feel like the stagnant energy is going to just feel like you're busy, but you're not really getting anywhere. And then all of a sudden, click, 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 click. And that's going to probably be right around the 24th. So make sure that you're keeping yourself balanced. And I just heard hydrated, especially for the whole month and through that time, because you're going to need it. Not just the balance, but like the rest, the sleep. Your 4 equal your 1. Your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. And if any of those 4 are out of balance, then you, my dear, are out of balance. And I'm feeling like you're going to need that balance when it comes to closer to the end of the month. You need it all the time, but you're going to find you really need it when you're closer to the end of the month. Then on the 28th, you've got Venus going into Taurus. So you have both masculine and feminine moving into their ruling signs, where the power is going to amp up, okay, right here at the end of the month. Now, when I look at the astrology itself, I always start wherever the sun is, and then I work myself around the chart. Because wherever the sun is technically the houses that you are walking through at this time. And the sun is in your 9th house. Well, your 9th house is your ethics, your logic, it's your learning, it's your spiritual urges, it's your book smart, your higher knowledge. It is your rituals, your wisdom. your visions, your ethics, morals. So this is in a form. And remember, this is actually the Taurus sign. Taurus is ruled universally the second house. The second house on a universal level is your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, as well as your money house. It is on a universal level. It is the manifestation house due to the law of attraction. Well, your Taurus is your ninth house, which automatically means your ethics, your morals, your spiritual understanding, your spiritual truth, your psychic understanding, your psychic ability, your psychic trust within yourself and intuition, dreams, knowing, trusting that gut feeling and standing in that power is what's going to build your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, which will ultimately build your manifestation, your law of attraction. And this all comes from how you feel about yourself, but ethically as well as spiritually. So when you're in that believing in your divine wisdom, your soulfulness, your ethics, your morals, you're trusting in your uniqueness of your personal spark and what you bring to the table from tapping into that. Then you lift up your manifestation, you lift up your power, you lift up the law of attraction, bringing you money as well. And you have the sun here, which is illuminating everything, both good and bad, because the sun is not positive or negative. It's illumination. It's showing you in these areas where you're talking well to yourself, where you don't believe in yourself, where you have questions about your spiritual truth, where you doubting your spiritual truth versus it's being illuminated in every direction. Then you also have Uranus here, which is your independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, trusting in yourself on your own divine spiritual path and building its strength. But Uranus isn't exactly the strongest here, so when it gets backed up into the corner, it's like a rat against the cage. It starts getting paranoid. It starts wanting to manipulate. But when you're in your power, you don't have to do this. So this is saying you've got to put more of that faith in you, more of that belief in you, more of that vibration in you. You got to jack that back up into a high vibration, and the manifestation, everything will flip. Okay, however, Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 10th house. The 10th house is your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your career, your financial foundation, as well as your social foundation for the outer world. So like I said, this isn't necessarily about you being judged outwardly. It's about how you're judging yourself and putting so much on yourself. And are you able to keep up? Are you able to believe? Are you measuring up to what you believe you are? Are you doubting who you think you are? And I say it this way because the sun is going to be going into your 10th house, starting to illuminate that second money house, your social foundation, your careers, your honor, reputation, prestige. While Mercury, which is in retrograde in it, comes back into your psychic and spiritual house. So together, these are marinating right now about how you feel about yourself. How much are you in your head? And are you letting the negative chatter in your head talk shit? Okay. I mean, like I said, Uranus isn't going to be leaving your spiritual house for a couple more years. The North Node is there in your spiritual house, trying to help you learn how to see past, how to become more awakened. For someone who just woke up, yes, we all need to keep growing in our enlightenment. We never learned anything. or enough of anything. Just because you've learned this much, my guides tell me this all the time. I'm like, I've learned everything about that. I've learned that. I figured this out. They're like, no, you know that this much. Let me just open the door a little bit more. And you're like, oh, you know. They're reminding us there's so much more about ourselves, our psychic ability, our spiritual truth in general, knowledge, ethics, morals, higher learning, all of that. There's so much more here about us that we can bring to the outer world. The outer world, which is that 10th house, is also what holds the authority over you. It's where you stand in your power outwardly with authority. Because you believe in it, you're able to stand in that power and bring that. Or are you being manipulated and pushed more because you're not in that power? And right now you want to pay attention. The sun is illuminating, good or bad, where you're at, and Mercury retrograde is questioning it. So pay attention to this energy in your spiritual health and your reputation, your prestige, your career, your financial thinking, success, and all of this at this time. Now, as you go into your 11th house, this is where you might also start doubting or questioning this. Your 11th house happens to be Cancer. Now, there's nothing wrong with the 11th house being Cancer, but Cancer is the universal 4th house. It's also a nesting area. It's the home. It's a place of where you make yourself comfortable and secure. So are you being put in positions that are starting to make you question your comfortability and your security out there? But for you, this is the 11th house, asking about that comfortability, that security out there, specifically with the groups and the memberships that you keep, the people, places, and things that you are part of in energy, your community, your groups, your memberships, your friends, your work friends. Are you feeling secure with them? Are you feeling insecure with them? And the reason I'm putting this in the way that I am is because Lilith is here. Now, Lilith usually asks us to stand in our fire. And what do we burn here? What are we here to burn for? What are we here for? See, but in Cancer, Lilith kind of goes the opposite way, which means it's more important for you to definitely stand in your independence and locate it and feel it and harness it right now. Because with everything that's going on in the mind, the spirit, the manifestation, the social outer world, your finances, and everything, this is important for you to feel independent, feel liberated and strong and secure, because Lilith tends to get submissive here. So this is one of those reasons where she will bring up fear and anxiety within these relationships and these outer groups. So this is about making sure that you are trusting in your heart and your soul. You're trusting in what you're feeling, but you're not allowing the mind chatter to try to drive you batshit crazy either. This is saying make sure that you're paying attention, you know the truth, and if you do hear the batshit crazy starting to talk in your ear, you shut it off. But pay attention to if those work friends, those friends, those committees, and relationships that you have outwardly, are they truly supporting your goals, dreams, and ambitions, and where you're trying to take yourself? Or are they maybe showing you where you're not quite capable of it yet, but helping you get over the hump? Or are they manipulating you, not giving you the time of day to do the things you need to do for your goals, dreams, and ambitions, not supporting you, and in fact, trying to take from you? So it's very much important at this time to make sure you're not submissive. Don't give up your time so freely. Don't be such a big-hearted, loving person that in the end you screwed yourself. Make sure you're taking the time for you. Now, and I'm not quite sure how long Lilith is going to be here, but I know she's going to be here all month. She probably might be here next month. We'll check that out next month because I haven't looked that far ahead. I don't remember how quickly she moves. Now, you have the eclipse, which is taking place in your communication house, your third house. Now, the problem here is it takes place on the 16th. And like I said, I don't feel like the massive power. I feel like this is a reflection that's got so much energy that's building around it. Yes. But I don't feel like the is going to come until Mars moves into Aries. And your third house of communication is where the eclipse is about to take place. The South Node, though, is here in the communication house, which means it's not just your communication, your talking or your listening, but it's also text messages. It's also emails. It's also, actual notes being written, maybe at work of some sort, communication of all kinds. And this is it's asking you, plus you're in Mercury retrograde. So this is, pay attention right now to what is being shown to you. Make sure that you're reading it all the way through. Don't just be signing it. And that's not just because of the Mercury retrograde. It's because of the freaking eclipse in your communication house. So you don't want to go signing away something for 6 months that's going to screw you up because I don't care about Mercury retrograde. It's not Mercury retrograde. It's the communication house. It could be with how you're communicating outwardly, vocally. It could be what you're hearing, but it's definitely, communication is not just that. Communication is, like I said, text messages, emails, actual documents that are being signed. And it's not just Mercury retrograde, it's eclipse. So this is way more important for you at this time. Not necessarily everybody else, because it's not hitting their communication house, it's hitting yours. Now, your fifth house is still got Pluto here. It's been here for several years, but it only has a year and a half left. And it's trying to help you come into your creative spark. And it's really going, hey, we're at the last messages of going, can you really locate your soul fire? Can you really locate what makes you happy? What makes you tick? Can you start putting effort and believing in it? Can you start to build that life? Because that's the life you really want. Can you believe in that? Can you, I tell people all the time, there's a big difference when we start looking at people, places, and things of energies that we consume. Because it's not just, it is an energy diet. We just don't see it that way. Now, this would be your fifth house, which is your creativity. But that sixth house is what's going to ultimately make that work or not work. And your sixth house has Saturn in it, Aquarius. All right. Which is together, these two are saying to you right now, pretty much throughout the year, at least until Saturn leaves, it's asking you, are you making time for your own pursuit of pleasure? Are you making time for your own fun? Are you making time for your hobbies? Or are you too busy supporting everybody else, helping everybody else, trying to be that good person in that way, but ultimately what you're doing is taking from yourself? You have to remember, you have to also feed you. I tell people all the time, it's great to love people and to help people and support people and to be kind, yes. But when you're supporting and loving and helping them, but ultimately it's harming you, then that's not love anymore. And you have to start to really recognize this, because your creative expression can be the artist who, who's able to paint the beautiful pictures. It could be the singer who's, you go to see on stage. You could have been that person if it was it, if you took the time to practice, the artist or that sports person that you love. That could have been you. If you're taking the time to become who you were supposed to become, Or every day we have mundane tasks, our people, places, and things of energies that we consume, whether they're good or bad. If you're doing the hobbies and the things you enjoy, you're back building the energy to help you support and enjoy your life. But are you enjoying what you can get? Like I said, some people spend every day at the gym. Some people spend every day working on their art. Some people spend every day, doing their music or whatever it is. And some people, and I'm not putting anybody down, some people spend every day at the bar. So what are you doing with your time? Are you getting your time to support and express and create and figure out what you enjoy and love? Because if the people in your life aren't helping you get there or being a part of that, well, then you're not going to get there. I'm sorry, but I'm just giving it to you the way it needs to be said. Now, your 7th house and your 8th house. Talking about exactly what I was talking about. Your relationships. Your relationships may have been extra dreamy or extra blah. One of the two. Because you've had just about every energy fly through Pisces here in the last couple months. Okay? You've had Jupiter, which just left. You've had Mercury and Mars fly through there. You have Vista in there still. You have Mars in there now. Passion, action, aggression in your 7th house. Your relationship house. Mars isn't strong in the relationship house. It's just like, it's the Temperance card. It's taking its time. It's tiptoeing around the fire. It's sitting in a board meeting waiting until you finally get out and enjoy life. And then Mars is going to jump right into the 8th house, which is joint efforts, joint resources, joint finances, rules, walls, boundaries, sex, everything that has to do with the rules to relationships. And it's going to come in with fire, passion, action, aggression. And Jupiter just moved in, getting all that stagnant energy lighting up, but not really going anywhere. No, not until Mars jumps in at the end of the month, really activating everything. And then right after that, a few days later, going right back into your spiritual house is Venus, getting super sensitive. So this is all telling you, love yourself right. Love yourself right, babies. See you next month.